Hello, my name is Andrea Lazardi, and this is my PSA video on Say No to Salvia. Salvia originated from the Sierra Mazaleca region of Oaxaca, Mexico, and has been used traditionally by the Mazateca Indians for ritual divination. It's a plant which is referred to as Salvia divinorum. This plant is seen to look like a mint and is even part of the mint family, and can be grown to as tall as 3 feet high. It is native to the cloud forests of the Sierra Mazateca region in Oaxaca, Mexico, and used traditionally for spiritual and healing purposes by indigenous Mazateca shamans. They would also use it as a treatment of abdominal swelling, diarrhea, and intestinal spasms and illnesses corresponding to chronic inflammation. It was then brought to the U.S. in 1962 by Hoffman and Wazen, who were the first two scientists to collect a specimen of salvia, which led to the identification of it. Then researchers began to study its psychoactive properties, leading to increased interest among psychonauts and enthusiasts seeking altered states of consciousness. Salvia has the capabilities to alter perception, changes in consciousness, physical sensations, emotional effects, impaired coordination, changes in heart rate, plus blood pressure, and even nausea and vomiting. Salvia is ingested by either smoking, chewing it, or vaporizing it. Yet it was naturally ingested by either chewing the leaves or brewing them into tea. If chewed, the effects would start between 5 to 10 minutes and naturally last you 2 hours. If it is smoked, it would hit you instantly and generally last you 15 to 20 minutes. Yet when drinking it, the effects are almost as similar to the coca leaf or the cocaine leaf when used as a tea. It is used to relieve pain, and the salvia tea is used for chronic inflammation and abdominal swelling. So you won't get hallucinations, so it is seen as moderate, and the timing is moderate as well. Although its short duration of action and legality in many places made it attractive to individuals seeking potent psychoactive substances. But its misuse has raised concerns about potential adverse effects, psychological distress, and risks associated with impaired judgment and behavior while under its influence. Since you do lose touch with reality and detach from reality when taking salvia, you are more at risk of harming yourself and others, and you have a decreased ability to interact with others as well as your physical surroundings. Salvia was made illegal on November of 2011, yet recently on April of 2023, salvia is controlled under Schedule 5 of Controlled Drugs and Substances Act. It is illegal to sell, possess, produce salvia unless you are authorized for medical, scientific, or industrial purposes. Yet some countries and some states have their own regulations of the sale, possession, and use of salvia. Salvia is not an addictive drug, yet the dissociative drug may be associated with a condition called hallucinogen-related substances use disorder. Although it may not be addictive, you could have a substance use disorder, which includes craving the drug, failure to fulfill obligations due to use of substance, problems with interpersonal relationships because of the substance, and recurrent use in situations that can be physically hazardous to you, or continuation of the use of drug even when it has resulted in physical, mental, or emotional problems. This is the map of the U.S. along with the colors that represent its legality in your state. Since we are in California, currently in California, it is legal to possess as long as you're within the age limits of 21 and up. Salvia on the endocrine system is different. Salvia A affects neurotransmitter systems like serotonin and dopamine, which could indirectly influence hormonal regulation. Like alterations in serotonin levels may affect mood regulation, potentially influence the release of stress hormones like the cortisol from the adrenal glands. The endocrine system consists of glands such as the pituitary, thyroid, adrenal, and pancreas, which releases hormones that regulate metabolism, growth, reproduction, and stress response. These hormones act on the target organs and tissues throughout the body to maintain homeostasis. Salvia divinorum is a hallucinogenic drug. Its active compound is the salvinorin A. Salvinorin A lacks interaction with the 5-HT2A receptors, which are the receptors that belong to the serotonin receptors family, and is a G protein coupled receptor known to mediate the hallucinogenic properties of the classical psychedelics like LSD. Yet instead, salvia acts as a selective high efficient kappa opioid receptor, or KAOP, total agonist both in the brain and spinal cord. It is the only known non-alkaloidal hallucinogen and is the first naturally occurring non-nitrogenous compound that acts as an effective and potent kappa opioid receptor selective agonist. The photo shows the impact of salvinorin A on dopamine DA levels and the binding of the drug to the kappa opioid receptor in the ventral tegmental area, reducing dopamine release in the striatum and the nucleus accumbens. Salvinorin A's activation of kappa opioid receptors influence the release and activity of various neurotransmitters, including dopamine, serotonin, and glutamate. Salvia effects typically occur rapidly after ingestion or inhalation and are relatively short-lived, lasting for only a few minutes to half an hour. This is due to the rapid metabolism and elimination of salvinorin A from the body. And that is my cited sources, and thank you for listening.